What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Touchdown Kingdom. We're super excited to bring you yet another predictions video, this time for Week 16. Let's get right into it. Our first matchup is between the Saints and the Rams. The Rams are favorites at home after coming off of a win last week. These teams are both having mediocre seasons, and they match up fairly well with each other. Ultimately, although both quarterbacks are coming off of good performances, I like Matthew Stafford to have the better game than Derek Carr. Rams get the nice win at home, 27-20.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook, where you can bet on everything anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right, get a 125% sign-up bonus. And to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we are giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
Next up, we have the Bengals at the Steelers. Bengals backup quarterback Jake Browning continued his stellar run of games last week with a last-second win over the Vikings. The Bengals are now sitting at 8-6 on the season and find themselves currently in the playoffs after an up-and-down start to the year. The Steelers have been a mess as of late, and I expect the Bengals to get yet another win this week. Bengals win on the road, 23-17. Moving on to the Bills at the Chargers. The Chargers' mess of a season continued last week as they let up a whopping 63 points to a below-average Raiders team. The Chargers' head coach and general manager were both fired as a result, and their future as an organization is now surrounded by nothing but question marks. The Bills are in the midst of what could be a major comeback story, and I expect them to handily beat the Chargers 28-14. Next up, the Commanders at the Jets. After a glimpse of what it was like to be a real NFL offense, the Jets sunk back down to reality this past week and put up 0 points in what was ultimately a 30-0 embarrassment at the hands of the Miami Dolphins. With the Jets now eliminated from playoff contention for the 13th straight year in a row, things can't get much worse if you're a fan. The Commanders are a weak team, but I expect them to find a way to beat the Jets, as most NFL teams do. Washington wins 20-10. Moving on to the Lions at the Vikings. The Lions are coming off of a monster win over Denver, and they must be feeling great about the season that they've had thus far. They're in first place in the NFC North, sitting at 10-4 on the year, and are one more win away from a playoff berth. The Vikings might have the home field advantage in this one, but I like the Lions to take care of business and send their division rivals packing. Lions win 27-18. Up next, we have the Browns at the Texans. Both teams are coming off of nice wins, but someone will have to lose this time around. Since taking over at quarterback, Joe Flacco has been nothing short of great for the Cleveland Browns. They've dealt with so much adversity throughout the year and still find themselves in the playoffs at 9-5. The Texans are right on the bubble of a playoff spot and will definitely need to win this game if they want to make this a truly special season. Texans win 24-23. Up next, we have the Packers at the Panthers. The Panthers picked up their second win of the season last week, and as boring of a game as it was, a win in the NFL is always something to feel good about. The Packers are coming off of a bad loss to the Buccaneers, but they should definitely get right on the road in Carolina. The Panthers must feel good after the win they had last week, but the Packers are clearly the better team. Gimme Green Bay on the road, 23-14. Moving on to the Seahawks at the Titans. The Seahawks are coming off of a monster Monday Night Football victory over the Eagles, a game that shocked the world. Seattle's backup quarterback Drew Lock didn't even know he was playing until a few minutes before kickoff, and he stepped up in a huge way and helped will his team to victory. The Seahawks have lots of talent and are well coached. They should definitely beat the Titans, who are too inconsistent from week to week. Seahawks win 25-20. Up next, we have the Colts at the Falcons. The Falcons are coming off of a brutal loss to the Panthers, a game that they definitely should have won. Now they have to face the Colts, who are coming off of a monster blowout win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Colts are still road underdogs in this game, and I expect them to get the upset over Atlanta. Gardner Minshew is a much more reliable option at quarterback than anyone currently on the Falcons. Give me a Colts win 24-21. Moving on to the Jaguars at the Buccaneers. Bucs quarterback Baker Mayfield had a great game last week against Green Bay, but he'll be dealing with a better team in the Jaguars this week. The Jags are coming off of a bad loss to the Baltimore Ravens, which came at a very bad time. All of a sudden, 3 teams in the AFC South all share the same record, sitting at 8-6. The Jags absolutely need a win this week, and I think they'll get it. Jags win 27-24. Moving on to the Cowboys at the Dolphins. The Cowboys shut down last week against Buffalo, and the Dak Prescott MVP conversations shut down alongside it. Meanwhile, the Dolphins stacked up yet another win, but this time without tons of key personnel. Their offensive line and secondary were both decimated with injuries, and they were missing their best player, Tyreek Hill. Watching them last week just proved one thing: Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins are for real. I like them to squeeze out a win with a healthy Tyreek Hill at home. Dolphins win 31-28. Next up, the Cardinals at the Bears. The Cardinals got absolutely decimated by the 49ers last week, and at this point, both Arizona and Chicago can only hope for better things next season. Both of these teams won't be making the postseason this year, but I think the Bears have been playing better football as of late. Give me a Chicago win at home, 17-13. Next up are the Patriots and the Broncos. The Broncos are very aggravated after getting embarrassed by the Detroit Lions last week, but they have a great opportunity to bounce back and keep their season alive with a win over the lifeless Patriots. The Patriots are the worst they've been in 20-plus years and have no business winning this game against Denver. Give me a Broncos win, 23-13. Moving on to the Raiders at the Chiefs. The Raiders are flying high after absolutely demolishing the Chargers last week in what was ultimately a 63-21 rout. They'll have plenty of momentum heading into this week's matchup, where they'll play another of their division rivals, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have had a subpar year in terms of their own standards, but are also coming off of a win. The Raiders showed lots last week, but I fear they didn't save enough gas in the tank for Mahomes and the Chiefs. Chiefs win 24-17. Next up, the Giants at the Eagles. The Giants' miracle run with Tommy DeVito at the helm came to a crashing end last week with a bad loss to the Saints. The Eagles also lost and now find themselves tied with the Cowboys at 10-4. The Eagles have an easy stretch of games left, with the Giants twice and Arizona being their last 3 games. But with the way the division is shaking out, they need to play great football and win these games to solidify a better playoff position. I like the Eagles to beat up on the Giants 31-10. And finally, our last matchup of Week 16, the Ravens at the 49ers. This should be the game of the week and one that many may consider a preview of this year's Super Bowl. The Niners have the best record in football at 11-3, but the Ravens have been just as good all year long. Make no mistake, these are definitely the top dogs in their respective conferences. The Niners have the most complete roster in football, but the Ravens have Lamar Jackson. I think it'll be his performance that will be the X factor in this game. If he plays well, the Ravens win. If he makes even one bad mistake, the Niners take the day. Could this finally be Lamar Jackson's year? I think so. Give me a Ravens upset, 30-28. And that's going to do it for another video here on Touchdown Kingdom. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please like the video if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on all of our content. And as always, most importantly, don't forget to leave your comments and your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time. Peace.